Hello, beautiful Alisha. I am so delighted to have
Hello.
you here. Not only are you a past Anisha Hero student, but you are also the person I think I'm recommending to everybody right now to go to for an Akashic record reading. You have no idea, actually, the power that you have with your talent
Oh,
with the
thank
Akashic
you.
records.
Thanks, Guy.
So, yeah, very, very excited to chat to you today about your Anisha Hero journey, though.
Yeah.
So, you did Anisha Hero quite a while back in the middle of
Mm.
2020. I think you were part of the first actual group cohort or the second, either the first or the second.
No, I might have been your second one. I did the
Hmm.
cohort in like September 2020, so a bit
Yes,
late in the year.
second
Yeah,
one, second one.
second one.
So, yes, you have been part of the Hero family for a while, but where
Yes.
were you? Where were you before you did Anisha Hero?
Golly, prior to doing Unleash Your Hero, I think I was in a place of being just very stuck and lost, and I didn't really have direction, if I can put it that way. And I mean, I'd been following you for some time, so I knew what you were about and knew what you were doing. And I was watching what all the other, what do I call them, your clients were going through in terms of their transformations. And I was like, I need this in my life. I need change. I need to move forward. And that's why I just dove in basically and I chatted to you. I mean, I think I still jumped in like 2 weeks into the cohort. So I was very late in, but it was just a matter of being in a space where I couldn't do what I was doing anymore. I didn't like the way I was, not like the way that I was, but I didn't like where I was at. And I
Mm.
knew that I needed change. And if I didn't make that investment in myself and actually put, my one foot in front of the other and take the step in that direction, I was never going to get to where I wanted to be, basically.
And would
Yeah.
you say you're more on your way to where you want to be today?
Oh, definitely. I mean, golly, it's been a year and a half, nearly like 2 years of all this drama that's been happening in the world. But um, I'd like to say that the person I am today is a far cry from who I was just a year and a bit ago, like before starting Unleash Your Hero. And I am definitely on track to getting to where I ultimately want to be. I mean,
Amazing.
I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm going in the right direction now, which is amazing. Yes,
You have
definitely.
guidance and you have direction, and you
Yeah.
hopefully have some tools in your tool belt now that will help serve you with any challenge that you overcome. Because I think that's the one message that I'm really trying to convey to people that are watching these testimonials is that yes, Anisha Hero is a 4 or 5 month cohort, but it's not going to magically fix everything overnight. This is
Of
a
course.
lifestyle that you start
Of
creating.
course.
And the changes that you do see, like you probably did see changes after 3 or 4 months, but the changes that you're making are sustainable and you see them growing and compounding. And, we are all a work in
Absolutely.
progress. We are all
Of
a work in
course.
progress. And that's what I think the beauty is of doing internal work is that when you've got your toolbox, oh, I've just up leveled. I need to reach another level now. What can I use? Um, and I'm sure you agree with that and with the work that you do with your clients now as well. It's
Of
not a
course.
quick fix or like a magic fix.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. And I think people, and I'm not judging, this is not
Mm-hmm.
judgment. So please don't get me wrong. But people, I think it's maybe like a human trait is we want a quick fix. We want to take the magic pill and we want everything to be okay. But where's the pride or the sense of achievement in that? Like for me, I mean, it's been tough, right? I'm sure it has been for you, for everybody, for many of your clients. You go through all of this stuff in your life and you're like, okay, I don't know where to go with this. And then investing in a coach is, I definitely think, one of the best things I ever did for myself because it gave me that sort of one-on-one accountability. It gave me a sense of direction. But in doing the work, and you have to do the work, there's no point in paying the money and making this big investment in the beautiful course and then being like, okay, I've bought this course, it cost me 20,000 Rand. Nothing's happened. You have to actually do the work. If you don't do the work, you're never going to see the change, basically. But the thing that was huge for me is actually watching myself grow and seeing the changes myself and having other people like my fiance or friends or family being like, you're not the same. And you almost sit there going, well, did you expect me to be? Like, I don't want to be the same person in 10 years time or whatever the case may be. So the growth is just really such a beautiful thing for me to see within myself. And I'm sure for you as a coach to see it in your clients as well must be so rewarding.
It is.
But it's also rewarding, like if I speak from my own experience, it's so rewarding for me to know that I've made a financial investment myself. I've put the time and effort into working on myself, and I've grown and developed as a person, as an individual. And just like watching the changes within myself, I think has been phenomenal for me, really, to know that I took myself seriously. I made myself a priority. And I think that was such a huge thing for me, because I'll be upfront. I used to be like chronic people pleaser. So it was everybody else before Alisha. And I think in making this investment, that was one of the biggest catalysts as well, is I was like, yeah, okay, I need to come first now. If I don't prioritize myself, how am I supposed to make this change? How am I supposed to do all the things that I need to do in my life if I'm not putting myself first? And I definitely think that doing Unleash Your Hero was that step in the right direction, because I prioritized it. I mean, I set time aside each day to work on it. If I definitely couldn't do or get there, I made time on the weekends or whatever the case might be. And I made that consistent effort to show up for myself, which I think is just like taking time to like own yourself and show up for yourself is so powerful, really.
It really is. Now, I've got a slightly difficult question to ask. If you hadn't invested in yourself, do you believe that you would have had the transformation that you've had today? You know, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, but I can just Google that. So can you Google your way to being where you are today?
I've done plenty of Googling. I have a bookshelf full of books to prove that I've been on a personal development path for a very long time. But I'll be honest with you, in the Googling and in the reading of the books, yes, great. I read this beautiful book. I'm so inspired by it. I don't actually implement any of what the book told me to do. And I'm super guilty of it. I'm sure plenty of people are.
Me too.
Yes, totally, right? Because you read the book and you're like, oh my God, I'm so amped. I'm going to go do all these things. And then the book goes back on the bookshelf and collects dust and you forget about it completely. I honestly think if I didn't make the investment, I would not have moved or grown as much as I did in the space of time, because I really wouldn't have done anything with or in regards to like moving forward and implementing the tools within all the books and within whatever articles I would have Googled and read online. I just think the thing for me is by actually making that financial investment, I kind of forced myself in a way to show up, because if I didn't put in the work, nobody else was losing out but me. So I definitely think making the investment was like the kick in the bum I needed to give myself, basically, to actually do the work for real. Really. Well, that's one of I don't know if that really answers your question, but
no, it completely does. And I just want to talk about the investment, because I think that that's the hindering block that most people have to joining a program, whether it be Unleash Your Hero or any other personal development program that they feel called to do. And I just want to talk about the investment, because the investment is actually part of the transformation that you have. Yes. The moment you put that money into yourself, you're like, wow, I'm for the first time possibly ever actually saying I'm worthy, I'm deserving of this.
Absolutely.
And that already starts a transformation process in itself. So let's just talk about the investment, because Unleash Your Hero, I never deny it is an investment, and I totally get that. But what would you say to a person who is struggling with the investment amount? Like, do you have any advice, or, you know?
I totally get where you're coming from. I was that person. And now being on the other side, in being a coach myself and like doing the healing work and stuff that I'm doing, I see it with clients who come to me and they go, really want to do this, but it's always about the money. And, you know, like somebody said to me once, money is literally just a form of exchange. That all is it is. And I think we give a lot of our power away to money in saying, I don't have, I can't do this. Look at where you can maybe cut down on costs, because that was one thing that I had to do. So basically, I mean, I had spoken to you, I think once before I actually joined you on the cohort I joined you on, because I said I can't afford it. And then when I actually went in and looked at my budget, I was completely wasting money on rubbish, completely. So look at where you can maybe cut down on things you're spending on that are actually not bringing you joy, but what is it? Like, I'm trying to explain this in a way that's understandable, but we numb out by spending money sometimes. It's the same as maybe sitting in front of Netflix for 2 hours. We numb out by buying clothing or buying things that we don't actually need and don't realize that this is not going to fix the problem, or whatever the case may be. But we keep doing it because this is what we've been conditioned to do. Look at where you're perhaps doing stuff like that and where you could save money or unsubscribe from things you're paying for that you don't actually need, and where you can, pull in all this money and pull it together. And if push really comes to shove, there's always this wonderful thing called a payment plan. I'm pretty sure that most coaches out there offer a payment plan. And, look at how you can make it happen. There's always a way. And I think that, like my dad always says to me, and I love this, he always says, where there's a will, there's a way. And I think that was my thing, is basically like, I want to do this. How can I do this? How am I going to make it happen? And if it's important to you, you will make it happen. That's the gist of it. Like for me personally, all the investments I've made over the last couple of years, it wasn't a matter of I don't have the money. I mean, there were times I genuinely didn't have the money, but I figured it out because I knew that was going to be something that helped me grow. And honestly, like I don't regret it. I really don't regret it. I'm so happy that I made that investment. And yes, it's a lot of money. I get that. I get we're all struggling. I'm not saying that, it's not a real issue, but I still do believe that if it's very important to you, and if you really want to see that change and really want to invest in yourself and do the work on yourself and for yourself, you will make it happen. That's basically it for me.
It's inevitable. And I just want to bring up something
Absolutely.
that we actually spoke about during my Akashic record reading session with you. And It was such a beautiful lesson that we spoke about, that the universe is actually the supply of abundance. And it's through the universe
Absolutely.
that money comes through. People are just the conduit for the universe to act through of a payment way. Like, kind of, people are the payment gateway, but the universe is actually the abundant supply.
Yes,
and I truly believe that, even with investments I've made, and I've also made shit scary investments before in myself. But when you make yourself a priority and you commit to just making the decision that you are going to do this program, you 100% will find a way, and the money will be there. It's almost like miraculously, the money will always be there.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think how I phrased that. It was another healer that I'd worked with that said to me, it was something like source pays your salary. She basically asked me who pays my salary, and I was like, oh, my boss, my company pays my salary. And she goes, no, source pays your salary. And that was just mind-boggling for me. But exactly what you just said, like when you put it out there, when you create that intention and put that intention out into the universe, it will manifest for you, because you've made this intention. You've put it out there. The universe knows that you want this. Like you've made it known you want this. And inevitably, I think things sort of fall into place to make it happen for you. Because, I mean, like random example, I remember wanting to invest in something, I think it was last year. And I sat there going, how am I supposed to figure out a way to get this money? I hadn't actually started my business yet. I didn't have any, side hustle income or anything of the sort. And I think I got like a 20 grand SARS refund, which basically helps me pay for what I needed to pay for. So the universe will answer your call, but be intentional about what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
And also, like, our words and our thoughts have power. So if you're constantly going to go, I can't afford this, I can't do this, I can't do that, you'll never do it, because that's what you're like confirming for yourself, or making it to be true for yourself, basically, is that you can't. Be mindful of the words you're thinking or the thoughts you're thinking and the words you're actually speaking out into the world, because we don't actually realize sometimes the potency of that, just that, in like what we're thinking and how it actually manifests for us.
Definitely. I could not agree more. It's kind of like when you say, I can't afford this, your subconscious mind even just shuts down to finding any possibilities, where a better question that you can ask yourself is, how can I afford this? And that instantly shifts your vibration, the frequency of your language, and possibilities will always show up in your world.
Absolutely.
So if there's any last kind of comments that you want to make, or words of wisdom, or advice to anybody watching this thinking that they may want to do Anisha Hero, do you have any last words of wisdom?
Something that I've learned, and I mean, I've been on this journey for a long time, and I think the biggest thing for me was learning to love myself, or putting myself first. And I've just lost my train of thought, but basically what I want to say is, like, you are the most important person in your life. Okay. I know people are going to fight me back on this, going, but my husband, but my children. I still firmly believe. I mean, I have a friend who I'm currently working with in a coaching capacity, and she has a little kiddo. He's, I think, just 2 years old. And I said to her the other day, who's the most important person in your life? And I fully expected her to say her child, because that's what most moms, I think, would say. And she actually looked at me and she goes, I am. And I was so proud of her, because if you're not the most important person in your life, how can you give to anybody else? And I think like with all the investments I've made for myself personally, it was a matter of, especially in terms of personal development courses or coaching, like one-on-one personal life coaching kind of thing. It was a matter of putting me first and doing the work on me so that I could be the best version of myself. And that, I think, is effectively what we've all kind of come here to be, is being the highest, the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. And sometimes along the way, we need help, because, we need somebody to just help us figure our shit out, basically. And that's where I think coaches and courses and stuff are so powerful in just helping us get onto the right track or get into the right direction. I would definitely just encourage anybody who's on the fence to go for it, because it's such a beautiful course. I mean, I've been itching to get back into it. I've been playing with all, parts of it again, but I'm so itching to start it over from the beginning again, and just, see what comes from it, doing it all again, because the work is not like an ending thing. It's not, I work on myself today and then I'm fine tomorrow. Every day is a chance with a fresh start, and every day is a chance for you to grow even more as a person. So definitely I would encourage anybody who's sitting on the fence to just make it happen, jump right in, really.
Beautiful. Well, Alisha, thank you so much for your time today. I really always appreciate it, and appreciate your energy so much, and
of course,
cannot wait for you to redo it and see where your journey takes you then.
Yes, definitely. I'm also excited.
Beautiful.